What is going on YouTube? This is Chimpact, and I have a 5th gen standard battle against Max from the Quid chat. And anyways, I'm going to lead out with Rotom because most Sandstorm teams lead out with Tyranitar. And if he's not going to lead out with Tyranitar, he's probably going to lead out with Rotom because Rotom is a pretty standard lead. And I usually lead out with Rotom because Hydro Pump does a ton of damage to anything if it specs. And so surprisingly, he is going to lead out with a Tracheon, and Tracheon is usually not a lead. It's usually definitely a revenge killer, but I don't know why he's using it as a lead at the moment. So he's going to go for the close combat that's not going to be able to take me out because it's probably Scarfed or something. So I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump, and fortunately I do hit, and that's definitely going to be able to take it out because I am Specs, and I could have probably taken it out even without the defense drop. So he's going to go out to his Celebi. I'm surprised why he didn't go out to that earlier. And he's going to switch out and go into his Landorus, pull a double switch on me. So I'm going to be forced to switch out and go into my Gyarados because I can't really handle Landorus that well with Heat Rain, obviously, because he can 1-hit kill me with the Earthquake. And so right here, I'm just going to go for the safe Waterfall. Don't want to make any predictions this early on in the game because he could have gone for the Stone Edge. And so I'm going to go out into my Celebi, the best check to Rotom Wash in the metagame because of its natural bulk, resistance to both its stab moves, and if it decides to have the Will-O-Wisp, then Natural Cure heals that up a little bit. So he's going to switch out knowing that he can't really handle my Celebi that well, and goes out into his Tyranitar, and I go for the Giga Drain, and that doesn't do as much as I thought that it would. So I'm thinking it's a bulky one, but I didn't see any leftovers. Like, I thought that he had leftovers in the time of the battle, but right here I don't see any leftovers, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what did I do? He goes for the Crunch, and that's easily going to be able to take me out. I live with 20 HP, but with Sandstorm, that's going to be able to take me out. So at this point, I knew that it was baited because I was focusing on his health, and I didn't see any leftovers. And because I lost Celebi, his Rotom Wash is going to be a lot more difficult to take out because I don't really have anything to really take Hydro Pumps and Thunderbolts that well, other than my Celebi, not my Celebi, my Jirachi. And my Jirachi can't really take a Will-O-Wisp that well. So right here, because Jirachis are physical attackers, I'm predicting him to go for the Will-O-Wisp because most leftovers Rotoms do carry the Will-O-Wisp. So I'm going to go out into my Xatu to Magic Bounce that Will-O-Wisp back. And Xatu is pretty much useless at this point because his Tyranitar is not a bulky Tyranitar, is actually banned. So even with the Reflect Up, I don't know if I would be able to live a Crunch. So I'm just pretty much going to have to sacrifice it. I go for a Nightshade, and that's going to bring him down really low. So another 2 turns of Sandstorm and Burn is going to be able to take out this Rotom. So he's going to go for the safe Thunderbolt, and down goes my Xatu. So right here, I'm going to go out into my Jirachi and hope that Will-O-Wisp misses. But even if it doesn't miss, Jirachi can't really do anything to the rest of his team anyway because his Landorus and his Tyranitar. Actually, I can do a little bit something to his Tyranitar, but his Landorus and his Celebi can handle my Jirachi pretty well. So I am going to go for the Wish, thinking that he might be missing the Hydro Pump. So I'm going to go out into my Rotom, hoping I can live a Hydro Pump at this amount of HP, but I don't, so that kind of sucks. And so I'm going to go out into my Jirachi again and hope that I can live a Hydro Pump or something like that. So right here I go out to my Jirachi, and he misses the Will-O-Wisp, which is really fortunate for me because this next Iron Head is going to be able to do enough damage for Sandstorm and stuff to take it out. So right here I misclick and I go for the Iron Head over the Body Slam. Body Slam would have easily taken it out because it's not resisted by Rotom, but Iron Head is, even though it's stab. So regardless, his Rotom Wash is going to be fainted, but my Jirachi is at very low HP. So right here, I was considering sacrificing my Jirachi, but I decided that he wouldn't take the risk of going for the Stone Edge on my Jirachi, predicting the Gyarados switch in. So I decided to go out into my Gyarados, and even if he did predict it, Stone Edge doesn't have the greatest accuracy, and I did get the Intimidate off. And even with the Intimidate, because of the Sand Force and the Life Orb, that still does a huge chunk of damage to my Gyarados. But fortunately for me, he does stay in, and his Landorus is now fainted. And I can handle pretty much the rest of his team with my Gyarados pretty well. So I'm going to go out into my Heat Rain as he brings out his Celebi. And I can take his Giga Drains for days, and I'm hoping he doesn't have the Earth Power and wasn't trying to save it for later. But since this Heatran is kind of specially defensive bulky, I'm hoping I can live in Earth Power. But because he did switch out, I'm thinking that he doesn't have it. I'm very confident that he doesn't have it. So I go for the Lava Plume and don't get the burn, and I'm gonna go for it the second time, hoping for the burn, and I do get it. And he goes for the Aqua Tail, and that didn't even do half. So I'm not sure if that even without the burn, that Aqua Tail would have been able to take me out. So right here, I am going to switch out and go into my Gyarados to get the Intimidate off, and I want to be able to rest up on some health so that his Celebi won't be that effective on my team if my Heatran goes down somehow, because I did forget what the last member of his team was when I was battling. So I'm going to go for the rest as he brings out his Celebi, and I know I can take a Giga Drain pretty well, and if he decides to go for the Nazi Plat, I might get a little lucky and go for the Sleep Talk Dragon Tail. And because I didn't reveal that I did have Dragon Tail, he might just go for the Nasty Plot 2 times in a row to get that extra special attack boost for my Heatran. And so I get the Sleep Talk, and I do show that I have the Dragon Tail, but fortunately for me, he did switch out and go into his Tyranitar. And so he has a Scizor and a Celebi left, so my Gyarados can handle both of them pretty well, as my Heatran. Even though Gyarados can't handle that Celebi that well, it can take a few Giga Drains. So I'm gonna go for the Sleep Talk again, get the Waterfall, which is pretty fortunate for me. And so I'm just gonna keep going for the Waterfall just to take out his Scizor, and he's gonna go out into his Celebi, which is no big deal because with the Stealth Rock up and the Sandstorm, he's not gonna be healing any HP. So right here I'm gonna go for the Dragon Tail so that the next time the Celebi comes in, it's gonna be taking damage from the Stealth Rock and stuff like that. Goes for the Giga Drain, doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so I'm thinking that it is a bulky Celebi. And so he's gonna go back out into his Scizor and takes the Stealth Rock damage. So the reason why I didn't switch in my Heatran was because I thought that he might have the Brick Break. So I go for the Waterfall, and he's at very low HP, so I'm thinking if he hasn't gone for the Brick Break yet, then he probably doesn't have it. So I'm gonna go switch into my Heatran now, just to speed up the battle a little bit. I probably could have taken out the Scizor with my Gyarados, but I wanted to speed it up a little bit and finish it off in 2 turns instead of like 4 or 5. And so that is going to be game because he doesn't really have anything to take out my Heatran. So anyway, guys, if you guys like the way this guy Max played, go check out his channel. It will be in the description below. And hope you guys enjoyed the battle. Please give it a like if you did enjoy. And enjoy the rest of the music. I'm out. Peace.